Namaste. Hi everybody. Thanks for being here for another weekly adventure yoga tune-up. You probably know I'm Ewashkiw, and this is my class. Today I am in Berlin, and I was just thinking about where I'm going to be next week, and I'm either going to be here in this same flat in Berlin next week, or I'll be doing class from the airport. You guys seem to like classes from the airport, so I'll probably try and do an evening class, Berlin time, from the airport, because I'm flying to Ireland next week. So if you're watching this from Ireland, I'm coming. I'll be there next week, next weekend. Gosh, like a week and a half from now, I'll be there teaching in Waterford and Cork. Yay! Can't wait to be back. Can't wait to see you all. But first, I've got some time in Berlin. I'm in my friend Jesse's flat. I know normally I'd give you like a little flat tour or a tour of where I am, or at least I try and remember to do that. I can't do that here because, first of all, Jesse's pretty private. He's not even on Facebook, so I can't even tag his location in this. And second of all, I've had to mess up the living room to create space to do yoga class. So the living room's does not look good right now. It's I know it's the magic of TV, right? That I can make it look all organized and beautiful here, whereas over here there's a lamp on the side, pile of books. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not giving you a tour. I don't think Jesse would like it if you thought this is what his flat looked like, when really it's just what it looks like when I destroy it. I'll put it all back, I promise. So I just wrapped up a weekend of teaching in Hamburg, which was fantastic. It was just such a great group. It always is. I've got a really great community that I'm working with there. And going back in the spring for my immersion there, which, if this weekend was anything to go by, is just going to be such an incredible experience. So I'll be back in Hamburg in a few months. But at the end of the weekend, I went to see one of my favorite bands, Destroyer, play in Hamburg. Thanks, Destroyer, for letting us come to your show. And that was Sunday night after teaching Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Hamburg, and so that made it for a long weekend. And then Tuesday, yesterday, Jesse had come to Hamburg to visit to see Destroyer as well. We came back to Berlin last night, and I basically wolfed down ate quickly some vegan sushi from Sushi Cube just down the road from here, his place here in Berlin, and went straight over to Huxley's, which is a venue really close to here because Father John Misty was playing last night. So the long and the short of it is I've been traveling, I've been teaching a lot, I've been going to a couple late shows, and so I'm exhausted, but really my legs are exhausted. Also because my day off, I did a lot of walking and riding my bike around Hamburg. So I thought that we would do a practice today focusing on our legs, focusing on our feet, our shins, our knees, our lower legs, and a little bit of our back to add to that to stretch our back out as well. So that's my selfish plan for all of us for today. And that's a few minutes of preamble, so that should be long enough for some of you to have seen the Facebook notification that I'm live and the class is here. And those of you who are doing this on your own time, cool. That's what they're there for. They're also on YouTube if you want them there, if you want to share them from YouTube, if that's easier for you. I'm just going to reset my timer. So we're back to the full 30 minutes. So my plan is to do a 30-minute lower body, a little bit of spine practice today. All right? Sound good? If not, you can press pause, stop, find another video that you did want to do. I've got 25 classes already lined up in the Adventure Yoga Weekly Tune-Up. All right. Sit up tall. Take a comfortable seat. And close your eyes. If you can breathe through your nose today, breathe through your nose. I'm finally able to again. It means my cold is clearing. You can probably still hear in my voice that it's a little bit there still. Oh, it's so freeing to be able to breathe through my nose. And if you can't, breathe through your mouth. There's a lot of colds going around right now. Relax your forehead. Just for the next half hour, let go of all of the things you're dealing with today. Unless those things are physical injuries, put them aside. We'll come back to them. They'll still be there when we're done. Use this time to remove yourself a little bit, to go inside rather than always focusing on the outside. Bring your hands to your heart, and for your heart, go inside and sing to yourself. Sing out loud. For you, 1 Om. Exhale fully. Inhale. To your heart, bow. Lower your hands. Lift your chin. Sit on your heels. So we generally call it Vajrasana. Place your feet flat. Bring your knees and feet together. Sit on your heels and sit up tall. The stretch at the front of your ankle here can be quite intense for some people. So if the front of your ankle is lifted off the ground, or if there is a lot of pain or feeling there, you can always get a blanket. Let's turn a little sideways so you can see what I'm talking about. You can always get a little blanket and slide it under the front of your ankle so that if it's lifted, it has something to push into. And if it's getting close to the ground and it's still quite intense, it'll help relieve some of that sensation. We want to stretch there, but I also want you to be able to sit like this. So we have to modify if it's too painful. Sit up tall. Stretch your right arm out to the side and stretch your right arm up. Bend your elbow, place your hand between your shoulders, push your head back into your arm. Take your left hand, touch the front of your ribs. Push your head back, move your ribs back, push your feet down. Keep your ribs back, stretch your left arm out, turn your palm towards the records. Yes, those are all records behind me. Jesse has quite a collection. Reach back, bend your elbow, and hold your shirt or clasp your hands. Draw your elbows towards each other, push down through your toes, move your ribs back, and stretch up through your spine. Push down through your toes. Think about your outer ankle, the outer edges of your ankles, and hug those in. Stretch your knees forward. Tighten up the grip of your hands together, or if you're holding your shirt, tighten up the grip on your shirt. Release your hands. Roll your shoulders. Bring your fingertips to the ground. I'm just going to turn around for a moment so you can see. Separate your feet so that there's enough space for your butt to sit down between your feet. And then sit down between your feet. One of the things that I'm assuming for these classes is that you're coming to my class knowing it's a class for me, and so we'll assume some level of knowledge and of being prepared for class. So this is Virasana. And what I'm talking about here is if you can't sit on the ground here, you will get a book or a block and lift your hips up and sit on the block or the book. And I'm not going to do that with Jesse's books here as a demonstration, but it's real. Oh, I've got one here actually. I know where this book came from. I can use this one. So you can use just a simple book to lift your hips up. It doesn't have to be an expensive yoga block, and you might have to stack it. But if you need a prop, use a prop. If you don't, sit in Virasana. Stretch your left arm up. Reach up, bend your elbow. Push your head back. Touch the front of your ribs with your right hand. Move your ribs back. Push your head back so you get more stretch through your underarm, through your ribs, through your whole spine. Then stretch your right arm back. Watch out for the records. Or is that just me? Reach back, turn your thumb back, and then bend your elbow. Clasp your hands or hold your shirt behind you. Push down through your feet. Think about your outer ankles. Imagine your outer ankles. And then squeeze your outer ankles in. Stretch your knees forward. And sit up tall. You might find you've just grown another centimeter. That's how I feel. Release your hands. Walk your hands forward. Lift your knees up. Walk your knees back. Come to hands and knees, all fours. And then tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up. But look at me, look at the camera. Don't lift your knees up so much that you can't stay here and keep working. Like it's not down dog, it's not straighten your legs. Tuck all of your toes onto the ground. So push all of your toes down. Lift your heels. Stretch your heels forward. Keep your toes tucked as best as you can. Bring your knees down to the ground. Walk your hands back. Sit on your heels and tuck those last few toes under. Work to get them all tucked. Sit on your heels and sit up tall. So this is what we call toe crusher. Toe smasher. It's got a couple names, this one. It's supposed to feel like it feels in your toes. I've been doing this a lot recently, so it's not stretching that much in my fascia, the bottom of my feet. It's not too intense, except on my left toes. I have yet to know a student that has broken toes doing this, so, come out if you absolutely need to, but the sensation is meant to be there. Move the front of your ribs back. Your tendency will be to lean forward because it makes the sensation less intense. Intensify. Move your ribs back. Sit up tall. Lengthen your spine. 10 more seconds. And then a child's pose. 3, 1. Child's pose. Walk your hands forward. Untuck your toes, place your feet flat, sit back on your heels, stretch your arms forward and then stretch out. Make your toes active. So I want to stretch them the opposite way now. So push all of your toenails down. Stretch your toes towards the back of the mat. Stretch your knees forward. Your legs, your lower legs especially, are getting a stretch. Push down through all of your toes. Stretch through your toes back, stretch through your knees forward. Lift your hips. Shift your hips forwards. Separate your feet so your feet are about hip distance apart. Walk your hands back. Swing your feet over to the left. Bring your butt down. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Cool. Janushirshasana setup. Stretch your left leg over to the left. Bend your right leg and bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Touch the ground outside your left leg, turn and face your leg. So we're going to move up the leg a little bit because this gets us into the hamstring stretch, the back of the upper leg. But I'm also going to add a pointing of the toe so that we're getting some activation of the calf muscle. Cool? Stretch your arms. Stretch your chest forward. Hold your foot. Keep your legs straight. If you can't do both of those things,
Hold your leg somewhere, keep your leg straight. Pull on your leg, stretch your chest forward, fold over your leg. Now, this is a modification of Janu Shirshasana. It's one we normally do. There are 2 stages to Janu Shirshasana. Forehead to the ground inside your left leg, or forehead to the ground outside your left leg. So if you want to go to one of those variations, you can lift your chest up, slide your torso over to the appropriate side, and bring your forehead to the ground. I'll take my arm out of the way so you can see. If you want to come up and look and see what's going on. Stretch your left leg straight. Push down through your heel and keep it on the ground. Push the back of your knee towards the ground. Stretch back through your left hip. Now let's add a little bit more calf to this. Push the ball of your left foot forward. Pull your toes back and push the ball of your foot forward. So your foot is going into that flointed shape, or even like you're wearing a high heel in that foot. Push the ball of your foot forward. Pull your heel back. Pull your toes back, and you should start to feel more stretch in your calf muscle. It's actually an engagement. It's a flexion. Stretch across the front of your shin. More engagement of the hamstring. Front of your left leg. Whole thing should be working in some aspect. Either an flexion or extension. Keep holding your foot. Lift your head and chest. Sit up.
Great. Sit up all the way. Switch sides. Stretch your right leg out. Bend your left leg. Set up with tree shape, and then turn and face your right leg. Stretch your arms up. Stretch your chest forward. Hold your foot or leg. Keep your right leg straight. Keep your right heel on the ground. Bring your forehead to your right shin, your lower leg. Pull on your foot. Stretch your chest forward. And if you want to choose one of those variations, just forehead to the ground inside your leg, forehead to the ground outside your leg, you can do that. Lift your chest a little, slide your torso over to the appropriate side, and bring your forehead to the ground inside or outside your leg. Both are Janu Shirshasana stages. Push down through your right heel. Push down through the back of your right knee without lifting your heel. Stretch back through your right hip. Stretch forward through the top of your head. And then push the ball of your right foot forward. Spread your toes. Wake up your calf. We'll stretch it in a moment. Don't worry. Point your right knee straight up. It's probably rolling out to the right. Straighten your leg. Keep holding your foot. Lift your head and chest. And sit up. Let's give those calves a nice stretch. I wanted to do something low to the ground rather than trying to stand up and be off camera and that sort of thing. So we're going to do this one low to the ground. I'm going to turn my butt to the camera though so you can really see what's happening in the back foot. Like a low low warrior one. So really turn your bottom foot forward as much as you can. And then don't worry so much about the front leg. So my front knee isn't bent to a 90-degree angle. I want to have my fingertips on the ground and have some stability here. Cool. So get this set up. So it's a shorter stance than Warrior 1. Your left foot, have it pointing straight forward towards the back of your mat. Your right foot, turn it in as much as is possible here. So we want that like as close to pointing straight ahead as we can, but with your heel on the ground. Push down through the ball of your right foot. Push down through your heel and lift through your knee. Really straighten your leg. And then shift your right hip forward. Bend into your left knee more. Keep your heel down. Your heel's going to want to lift. Stretch it back and down. And shift forward so that you're stretching your calf muscles. When the foot is down, when the ankle is flexing like this is when
The muscles at the front of the shin are working to flex, and the calf muscles will be extending. Stretching. Push down through your heel. Pull your right hip forward, straighten that leg. Push down through the ball of your right foot. Keep pointing your right knee forward, right hip forward. And then, to come out, lift your heel up. So you see, as you start to lift your heel, then the calf muscle is changing what's happening. Then it starts to flex to help bring your leg into this shape. Change sides. Left leg back, right leg forward, like a short warrior one stance. So don't bend your right knee all the way. But do point your right foot straight ahead, aka towards the back of your mat. Point your left foot towards the back of your mat as much as you can, while keeping your heel down. Push down through the ball of your left foot. Straighten through your left leg. Lift up through your left knee so that you push your heel back and down. You should start to feel the muscles stretching in your calf muscle. Pull your left hip forward, so that's internally rotate your left hip. Stretch your right knee forward to get more flexion at your left ankle, so you get more stretch here for the back of your lower leg. Stretch your right knee forward, stretch your left hip forward, keep your left heel down on the ground. And breathe. Push down through your heel, really straighten that leg, point your left knee forward, push down to the ball of your left foot. Almost done. Come out, lift your left heel up, step to the back of your mat, sit down, turn around, stretch your legs out. Really stretch your legs out. So we've been opening up our legs, we've been waking them up, we've been stretching them, but now use them. Stretch your legs out. Bring your shins parallel to the ground, hold the backs of your legs, spread your toes, push your legs into your hands so the muscles underneath your hands, your hamstrings, start to engage more. Pull your heels down slightly. Keep that, and if you can go further, stretch your arms out. Keep that, but if you can go further, straighten your legs. Stretch your spine, Navasana. Forward, straighten your legs. Point your knees straight towards your eyes, gaze towards your feet. Navasana, draw your lower back in, move your ribs back, lengthen your spine, and like someone's touching the back of your head, rest your head back. Okay, so it can be a little boring when we just stay in Navasana. Either this variation, or this variation, or this variation, your choice. But go into Ardha Navasana. So if you're in this variation, it looks like this. Push your feet away, lower your spine, move your head back, Ardha Navasana. Or if your arms are off your legs, it's bend your knees, sort of straighten your legs a little, move your chest back. Or Ardha Navasana, full variation, legs straight, spine working towards straight. I know you've been there for a while, but I had to explain all three variations. Come up, Navasana. Inhale, Ardha Navasana. Exhale, Navasana. Inhale, Ardha Navasana. Spread your toes. Exhale up. Cross your ankles. Sit cross-legged. Figured we had to throw a little bit of core in. Can't just focus on our legs. We've been stretching our spine a little. It's nice to use it a little bit. Cool. Good times. Bend your knees. Lift your toes. Hold the outer edges of your feet. Ribs to chest. If you gotta get stuff out of the way, you can widen your legs. So bring them a bit closer together, whichever helps for you. Hold the outer edges of your feet. Push down with your hands. Lengthen through your spine. Oh, yeah. Just creating that extra space in between your vertebrae, in between your ribs, can really help relieve the stress of like the weight of the day wearing down on you. It's cold and dark today in
Berlin and I really needed to focus, to stay light and open. I need a little more practice here. Walk your feet away from you, but keep your ribs and your legs touching. You can keep walking your feet away, but keep your ribs and thighs touching. And if eventually you get to legs straight, ribs and thighs touching in Paschimottanasana, cool. But if not, also totally cool. Go to what's appropriate for you today. And each day can be different. I like to get into a really deep Paschimottanasana, whether that's knees bent deep or legs straight, chest to thighs deep. I like to take my time, not just force my body into it. Then I can feel a little more comfortable in the pose. Push down through your heels. Think about your inner knees and stretch your inner knees down, but stretch your outer heels down. So think about the outer edges of your feet, outer edges of your heels. Push down through there. Then think about the inner edges of your knees. Push down through there without the outer edges of your heels coming up or rolling your feet rolling in. It's a challenge. Work to do that to straighten your legs. Draw your belly in. Stretch through your ribs and stretch your head towards your feet. Doesn't matter if your knees are bent or legs are straight here. You're going to get a lot of the benefit of the work, really focusing on the shape and the actions of it. Push down through your heels. Stretch back through your tailbone. Think about the front of your ribs. Move the front of your ribs up a little, like you're rounding your back. Then lengthen your spine and deepen your fold over your legs. Lift your head and chest. Sit up. Come onto your knees. Bring your knees together this time. Place your feet flat. Bring your forehead to your knees or close to your knees. Place your hands beside your knees. Push forward with your hands. Draw your belly in and really round your back. Push forward with your hands. Draw your belly in, round your back. Lift your head. Lift your chest. Swing your legs over to one side. Bring your feet to the ground. Lie down. Set up for bridge pose. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Separate your feet about hip distance apart. Bend your elbows. Push your shoulders down. Lift your hips up. Lift your pelvis and interlace your hands underneath you. Walk your shoulders in a little. Bridge pose. So we just rounded our back to stretch the muscles that take us into a back bend. Now we're going to arch our back. We're going to use those muscles. So push down through your feet. And think about the back of your body, or the part that's like moving away from the ground. That's where the muscles that take you into back bend live, the erector spinae. So flex all up along the sides of your spine so that you're taken into a deeper back bend. Push through your shoulders and even flex those muscles in your upper back. Push through your feet and breathe. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Stretch through the top of your head, stretch through your hands. Lower your pelvis. Lift your toes off the ground. Flex your ankles. Point your toes and lift your heels. So bring your toes to the ground. Lift your heels. Flex your calves. Bring your heels down. Lift your toes. Pull your toes back towards your knees. Stretch your legs out. Point your toes. So bring your legs together. Straighten your legs. Point your knees straight up. So slightly turn your legs in. Stretch your toes forward. Stretch the tops of your ankles. Pull your heels back towards you. And go the opposite way. Push your heels forward. This time you can bring your heels off the ground. Really push your heels forward. Pull your toes towards your face. Keep pointing your knees straight up. Bring your feet to the ground again. Bend your knees. Place your right ankle over your left knee and push your right knee forward. Push your shoulders down. Think about the two sides of your pelvis where your spine comes into your pelvis. So where your sacrum is, work to push the two sides of the outer edges of your sacrum down evenly. Flex your right foot, push your right knee forward. Change sides, bring your right foot down, place your left foot above your left ankle above your right knee. Push your left knee forward, push your shoulders down, flex your left foot. Then think about either side of your sacrum, where your spine comes into your pelvis. Work to push the two sides, the outer edges of your sacrum, down evenly. Push your left knee forward, flex your left foot. Bring your left foot to the ground. Stretch your legs out straight. Stretch your arms straight. Flex your feet. Don't look at your toes. I'm doing that just so that I can see you. Hi. Stretch your spine. Supta Tadasana. So like Tadasana, but on your back. Legs straight, arms straight, ankles flexed. Spread your fingers. Push your shoulders down, hips down, heels down. Stretch. Stretch your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers. Make the peace gun. I'm showing that to the camera in case you don't know the peace gun. And then stretch through your thumbs and your index fingers. Stretch your toes forward. Really freaking stretch. Set up for Shavasana. Separate your feet. Turn your palms up at your sides. Tuck your shoulders in. Rest here. Hold a short Shavasana. Deepen your breath. Move your fingers. Move your toes. Deepen your breath. Expand your chest. Even expand your hips with your breath. Stretch it out through your arms and stretch it out through your legs. Stretch your fingers, stretch your toes. Wake yourself up with this new breath. This opened up body. Ready for whatever's next. For me, it's cooking dinner. For you, it might be starting your day. Awake and ready. Bend your knees. Gently roll onto your right side. Use your arms and push yourself up. And come to a seated position. Close your eyes. And bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, the prayer position. Thanks for practicing with me. Thanks for practicing on yourself today. I hope this helps you feel more freedom in your lower legs, more freedom in your heart. Like literally, it moves all the way up to your shoulders, to your heart, to your mind, creating more space, more openness, more possibility. That's my hope. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Namaste. Thanks for helping me get on my mat every Wednesday. Thanks for joining me for it. Thanks to everyone that's helped me along this journey. Students, friends, teachers. Namaste.